So I'm just going to go over the trades that I could have taken today. There was 4 opportunities. Now, based off my trading plan, I could have only taken 2 of them. And based off of how the trades played out, most likely, at best, I would have just broke even on the day, maybe made a little bit of profit at best. But I'm glad. I'd much rather just break even without taking a trade and losing any mental capital than break even and lose some mental capital by losing my first trade, then holding the second one to take profit, but having to sit through consolidation and some drawdown. If I'm just if the environment is I'm sensing not the best, and I'll probably break even at best, then I'd rather sit in my hands, which is what I did today. But I still want to go over like the potential for some winners today. There were still some good trades. It's just I would have had to really sift through the bad ones and maybe take a loss. It is what it is. It's part of the game, but I not upset that I didn't take any trades today. But again, so here on the weekly, yes, we are bearish technically because this candle has yet to close, and so we broke structure here with this candle, and we still haven't broken above here or closed above here, excuse me. So we're technically bearish on the daily, or bearish on the weekly. Daily, we are bullish because we broke structure with this candle right here when we closed above here. We also disrespected this bearish fair value gap and this bearish fair value gap here, so it shows intent that it wants to go higher. On the 4-hour, you see some equal highs here, which I wanted to take. Equal highs, so that was my draw on liquidity. Now my PD array is 2 things. For the first trade today, you'll see my PD array was only this inversion fair value gap here, and you see we respected it. We never actually closed below this inversion fair value gap today. So for the first trade, that's all my higher time frame PD array was, and this is the sweep on the first trade of sell side. So for the first trade, my model was present and it wouldn't have been going against my rules to have taken it, but I didn't love how we didn't sweep this low yet. So that was a bit concerning for me, having to just leave that low and go for my target. I didn't really like. So here is the first trade though. We got distribution, break a structure, tapped into a fair value gap. That would have been our entry, and you can see we got stopped out. The reason again we got stopped out is because price wanted to come for these lows first, right? So then we did that. We came for these lows. Okay, now this is a more respectable entry, and this is actually where I took a demo trade. Could have taken a live trade here. I'll be honest with you. I could have taken a live trade. And this first one, I definitely would not have taken on a live account. So I actually probably could have successfully, it could have been a profitable day today, and I could have successfully sifted through the bad trade, because I would not have taken this one with these lows underneath. This one though, I definitely could have taken on a live account. I took it on a demo, and I actually ended up just closing the trade because it was consolidating near my entry, but you can see how it ended up playing out. Again, we swept this liquidity, so that higher time frame liquidity is a higher time frame PD array, so we count that as a PD array, and this inversion fair value gap as the PD array that we were respecting, and we swept this low and this low for the second entry. And as you can see, the only thing that wasn't amazing about this one was we got our distribution, and we were creating, we were disrespecting fair value gaps and creating inversion fair value gaps, but we didn't really break structure. So I placed a market order here once we broke above this candle here, because that meant break a structure, and we had, of course, we had tapped into an inversion fair value gap at that point. So I didn't place a limit order here. I placed a market order, but my rules still applied. Everything, my trading plan was still respected. And you can see how long we consolidated for. Let's see, I got in here 10:25. So we consolidated near my entry for over an hour and 20 minutes. before finally taking off to my take profit. So not much drawdown, just we were in it for a long time, but not much in the sense of like capital. We were never in that deep of drawdown, but definitely were in drawdown for a long time. And how I would have handled this on a live, I'm not sure. On the demo, I decided I was going to just close it because, again, I don't love when price consolidates at my entry, but you can see this is an instance where, you know, my stop loss was low enough. I gave the trade enough breathing room, and, you know, it was reasonable to see these highs get taken. So, you know, maybe we hold on to that one. The PM session trades that I could have taken included this first one, which would have been a loss. You can see we traded into a 1 hour fair value gap. Yes, we had already taken this high, but we left this high. So now we created more equal highs, which you can see we're pumping right now for some reason in aftermarket, but you can see we took it like right at 4. Anyways, so that's our PD array. Our sweep is here, and I believe, yeah, here's our sweep. We swept sell side, or no, yeah, for the first trade, it was just that sell side that got swept. And you see, I like how we kept equal highs there as well here on the 5-minute, and then distributed higher. Nice break of structure. We would have gotten in off this fair value gap, and you see would have gotten stopped out. And then this would have been the re-entry here. We swept liquidity one more time. We swept this liquidity, boom. Still respecting the 1 hour fair value gap, and would have gotten in off of this break of structure, this fair value gap here, and it would have consolidated in my entry for a while. I would have, I think I would have had 2 contracts at least on this trade, because the stop isn't too big or too wide, but maybe I would have just had 1. If I had 1 contract, it would have been brought to break even when we were up here. If I had 2 contracts, I would have taken a contract off here, and I would have let the rest run. So we probably would have seen our final take profit get hit with the last contract, but it would have been torturous to hold on for if I was actually sitting at the charts, which I tend to do. So again, that mental capital was definitely saved today for what would have most likely been a break-even day. If I traded the PM session instead of the AM session today, and I took these 2 trades, I would have definitely taken the first one. There wasn't a reason for me not to take the first one, and the second one I would have taken too. So this would have ended up, realistically, if I had 2 contracts on this trade, I would have maybe broke even. Or I'm sorry, no. If I had 2 contracts on this trade, I would have made a little bit of profit, most likely. And if I had 1 contract and I broke even, then obviously we would have lost money on the you know, net loss on these 2 trades if that was the case. Now the AM session, I actually do think I could have, you know, I did a good job of spotting how we hadn't swept this low yet, and I didn't love that, so I think I could have definitely avoided, and I did. On a demo account, I avoided taking this first trade. I took the second one. So, you know, I could have definitely done that on a live account too. Now the question becomes, would I have held through this consolidation after entering on the live account? And that I do not know. You know, had I left the charts, I could have for sure. I probably would have let it play out, to be completely honest with you. I had a wide enough stop loss. There really wasn't a reason for me not to let it play out, if I'm being completely honest. I know I don't love to see it consolidated at my entry, but if I leave enough room for it to breathe, then, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just when you have that tight stop loss, it's preferably not what you want to see. So, but those were the 4 trades that would have followed my trading plan today. I want to do more of these videos in the future, just kind of going over like the trades that were present on a daily basis. You know, some days there will be 0 trades that were present based off of my trading plan. But other days like today, I mean, there's 4 trades here that, you know, these all followed my trading plan. And some were losers, some were winners. We went 2 and 2 on the day if we were able to take 4 trades. Now, again, I only take 2 trades per day max, but we, you know, 2 for 2 as far as like the trades that followed our trading plan. But the reason I want to do more of these videos is because I definitely struggle, and it's not the worst thing in the world. There's definitely worse struggles for a trader, but for me, it's I sit on my hands too much. I'm a perfectionist. It's just my personality. You have to know your personality as a trader, and it's important to understand your personality. And I am a perfectionist in my life with things that I do, so it's natural for me for that to kind of seep into my trading. So I wait for the perfect setup a lot, and realistically, you know, does a perfect setup exist? There's definitely better setups than others. I wouldn't say a perfect setup exists. And so I am sitting my hands a lot, and I miss out on some good trades. Now, it also, again, the reason why it's not the worst trait for a trader to have is because I also miss some bad trades that I could have taken. So I'm glad I'm not just entering off of everything, but I want to get a sense of how often my model shows up and how often my trading plan is present on a daily basis. So today it was 4 times, 2 in the AM session, 2 in the PM session. And yeah, that was the day.